always find myself singing, but things I don't want to sing, good Lord. But somebody always doing some Kaisuni and something. There was a big get-together for Kaisoka cricket team. Drinks was flowing like water, but no cups to drink it in. So somebody made a suggestion that had the boys on a hunt. They say if we could just find your own cups, well, we could drink as much as we want. Well, if you see we like hungry little chicken all over the kitchen, we looking for cups. Like old Mother Hubbard, we all in the cupboards, we looking for cups. You should have seen we looking for cups to drink, good Lord, we be looking for cups. We looking for cups to drink, good Lord, we looking for cups. Kaisonians came in their glory, Kaisonians came in their glee, greeted by songs of gladness from singing Sandra and Lady B. Who wasn't formally attired, was equipped with the latest sports. The mighty Sparrow and the Fosto came out in a lambada shorts. Gypsy came in a velvet outfit, Funny Borrow exposed a shoe. Duke was in a scissors tail jacket, and all of them looking for cups too. You should have seen me like hungry little chicken all over the kitchen. We looking for cups. Like old Mother Hubbard, we all in the cupboards, we looking for cups. You should have seen me looking for cups, Mother Hubbard, Lord, looking for cups. Looking for cups to drink, good Lord, we looking for cups.
I want to say a pleasant good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How are we doing this afternoon? We're starting the evening a little bit calm with a nice little bit of calypso music, right? How are we doing this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen? Good afternoon to you. How are we doing?
Well, every year we leave our families and go to the foreign land, promoting our country.
We are ready to go ahead.
That we can.
We are ready to stream.
Reach back here.
We are ready to have our conversations.
With a slapping.
Welcome to the classroom, ladies and gentlemen.
We in the custom.
How are we doing this afternoon? How are we doing this afternoon? Go ahead right now and share up the live.
About this.
To my friends on the YouTube page.
We'll stop.
To my friends on Facebook. A pleasant good afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen. Another wonderful afternoon, right?
One composer in a bell-bottom Wrangland looking for cups. I see the Grandmaster kitchen, girl a rush me and they looking for cups. You should have seen me looking for cups to drink, good Lord, we looking for cups.
Someone is saying right there,
For cups to
we bring it on facts and more facts. Good afternoon to everybody that's already on the live. Dennis DeBellot, Dennis Fabio, Cynthia Bartholomew, Mission Bernard, Red Girl Pascal, Agnes Henry, Michael Frank, good afternoon to you, my brother. Andra, good afternoon to you. Jillian Noel, Sherion Thomas, I want to say a pleasant good afternoon to you. Yes, so ladies and gentlemen, we are on. We are back for another wonderful afternoon. Let them know. Share up the live. Let them know that class is in session. Let them know that Royalty James is back on again. Undisturbed, undistracted, never giving up the fight for the betterment of our beautiful island, Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. I hope everybody is having would have had a wonderful day thus far, right? Get the persons on the live. Let them know that we're here and we're ready to go ahead. Let them know that we're not scared to share the factual information and we're not scared to give the information undisturbed on any form of grounds that we speak. We speak facts. So I want to say good afternoon again and welcome to the program. It is going to be a very short program today. I can tell you guys that we are going to get straight to the point. We're going to get straight into the conversations. And so once we're doing so, we are going to do some fact checking. All right. As I said, I designated my Wednesdays for persons to be able to call in. Not call in, sorry, but send in your voice notes. As long as your voice notes are not derogative, obscene, defamating anybody's character, insulting anybody or threatening anybody, then you can go ahead, send in your voice notes, share your opinions. Go ahead on the page, say what you have to say on the page. I may be able to read it, as I said, if it is not anything that is of non-value, then I would be able to read it out. All right. So again, good afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen. And it has been a wonderful day. Now, we are going to get straight into it. All right. We are going to get straight into it. I don't want to hold back the information. No way for you guys. But we are going to start today's conversation with the information as it relates to COVID-19. And I want to start the conversation of COVID-19 on a lot of bases. Now, I remember speaking on my last program, and I clearly mentioned that I don't want to give information about COVID-19 on just the mere hearsay. All right? We don't want to give out information. And you know, if you all know how I operate, I don't like to just say, well, I hear that from people, right? Now, it has been conversation that persons have said to me, yo, principal, this is what is going on. But still on my program, you see, I still want to keep the standard that when I give information or when I disseminate information, it is factual. And when I give information, I want it to be not that of just mere wanting to have a conversation. This is not me. This is not what I thrive on. I thrive on information that is important so that you and I can learn from each other. Not you just learning from me, but as I said, we learning from each other. So, having had recent information, which is factual information, let me just give you all that bit of information that has came to light in recent days. I just want to ensure that I get it on the right path. All right. So let's see. If we're hearing this?
Detections of COVID were less than these other viruses that I mentioned from testing.
Since the discontinuation of the public health emergency,
I hope everybody is hearing this. If you're hearing, just let me know.
Data collection efforts were conducted weekly as per international standards and not daily as it were at the height of the pandemic.
We have transitioned now to monitor.
Is everybody hearing this?
Positive detections of COVID on a weekly basis. So now we receive weekly reports. And those numbers have not changed much over the weeks, but except the last 3 weeks. The last 3 weeks, we have noted a steady increase in the number of detections of COVID cases. All right. For example, for the last week that we monitored, 71 cases were detected. The week before that, 42. And the week before that, 26.
Now we're going to pause there for the start of the conversation. Now, what we're hearing is that we have not seen a steady increase in recent weeks. All right, this is what the chief medical officer is saying. We have not seen a steady increase. Now, I don't know what is your notion on the terminology of steady increase. Now, we're going to work with the information that they gave to us. Week 1 gave 26. Week 2 gave 42. This is an increase of 16. Let's do our maths and let's do it properly. Make sure our maths is properly mathsing, right? So if we're doing it properly and in the manner in which it's supposed to be done, if we look at the difference between week 1 and week 2, we're seeing an increase of 16, right? Now, if week 1 gave you that number, then week 2 gives you the other number that I just mentioned, and 16 is not, you're not seeing a steady increase, because 16 to them could be mild, and I understand that it can be mild. That's 16. But from week 2 to week 3 gave you 71, which is an increase of 29. Now tell me how it is that this is not a steady increase, or matter of fact, it is not a significant increase. Because you're saying to me, you are saying to the general public, basically, ladies and gentlemen, and as I said, I want us to ensure that the maths is matching. Between week 1 and week 3, there is an increase of 45 persons having been detected with COVID-19. So, I don't know what is considered to be significant or what is considered to be a steady increase. But to me, this is an increase that calls for concern. And let me tell you why it calls for concern. And you see, sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, we need not to play politics with mere information. Now, persons have had the conversation. They have been mentioning it, that there is an increase in COVID cases, and persons are mentioning it. However, up until this stage, now after seeing the increase in week 1 and week 2, and you can go back to the Ministry of Health page, there was no awareness, there was no information, and not information, but awareness. Now, week 3 brings us up to what? From week 1 to week 3, it brings us to 45. And now, due to the fact of the press conference that was held, we heard the CMO disseminating the information. Now, COVID-19 is prevalent among us. And even if it is downplayed by whomever, the fact of the matter is, this is one of the diseases that caused a pandemic. Now, what is important that should be noted here is that we are in a period in Grenada where we usually have a significant increase in gathering. We have a significant increase of persons on our shores. We're about to hit July. We are in the summer vacation, which indicates that Carnival is right on our doorstep. Now, the dissemination of the information should be not on the basis that, okay, persons are not having the illness as prevalent as before. We need to take into consideration, that we are into our festive season, the most festive season throughout the length and breadth of Grenada. So it means that there are going to be more persons on our shores. It means that school is going to close for the many of us who goes to school. When the school year carries on, you don't get children gathering and interact as when school closes. They would play more often. Teachers would give them the opportunity to recreate more. So then the interaction and gathering between them is more prevalent than before. We would see more of the little events, the little juve, the little beach fest, the little events that would cause more of a gathering. So the dissemination of the information is relevant in this state and this time for the purpose of precaution. This is simple understanding. We're not saying that COVID is not as prevalent as before. We know that. But we need to understand, like many other countries, they are not in the position that we are in. We are in the season where there is an expectation that there would be more persons at our shows. So the dissemination of the information should be relevant for the precautious measures to be taken. This is not to say, okay, yes, we know that it's COVID, but it is not as bad as before. This is not the purpose why Grenada should be taking the precaution. We are in a period, unlike Trinidad and Tobago, St. Vincent, Barbados, and other countries, we are in the stage where we basically would be welcoming people. You can't have people now being reluctant to come to Grenada. This is a time where we want people to get here. This is a time where if an individual knows the experience they would have had through COVID in New York City, knowing the issues that might arise, knowing that if they leave Grenada now and detected with COVID, what may happen? What may transpire? An individual may come and enjoy the carnival, and on their way going back, they know to themselves, I am tested with COVID-19. They have their job on Monday. They may have to do whatever for the next 14 or 7 days or 3 days. This is what the precautious measure now should be. The awareness should not be, okay, we're downplaying it because it is not that at that stage. No. Unlike other countries, Grenada is in a time when we're expecting more persons to be on our shows. And this is what should raise the awareness. This is what should raise the awareness. The awareness here is for not just the purpose of Grenadians, but the purpose of persons visiting home. For those of us who move around, we know what happens around the festive season. So if week 1 brought 26, week 2 brought 42, week 3 brings 71, how can you say to me this is not a significant increase that calls for a concern? You go on the Facebook page of the Ministry of Health, you are still not seeing them asking persons to wear masks or maybe asking business places to reintroduce sanitization. The purpose of this is the fact that the position that we as Grenadians are at now. We can look at Trinidad and Tobago and Barbados and St. Vincent or America and say, okay, they're not taking it serious. Understand that unlike them, there is basically nothing happening there. We are at a period, ladies and gentlemen, that we cannot afford a spike in COVID-19 in Grenada. We are at our most economic boost season for most of us who knows. We cannot afford it because persons now who might have booked their flight hearing there is a spike in cases. What do you think they're going to do? The reluctance is going to be there to travel home. And so we want them to travel in. Even if the reluctance is there, but we want to ensure that we bring that level of awareness. And this should be the conversations from since week 2. We should not have brought it up to 45 cases before we had to be aware of it. And so the Ministry of Health should be at this stage, not just mentioning to people to not gather, but reintroduce things like masks and sanitization. Because you don't want the spread. That's what you don't want, You're asking persons to, yes, take the precautious measure, don't do this, don't do that. But at the end of the day, as old people always say, prevention is better than cure. We need to prioritize things. And this is not playing on politics. At the end of the day, when things like these things happen, you ought to ask for the persons in authorities. I cannot do it. I cannot do it. The implementation takes much more than me. And the fact of the matter is, the information is now factual. The information is now out there, brought forward to the general public, that there is a significant increase. Don't tell me 45 is not a significant increase, taking into consideration with the issues that are happening within the medical fraternity. With so many shoo here and there, which, as I said already, I would not run with it because I don't know it to be factual. But just so the shoo with COVID-19 and the increase, I downplayed it because I didn't have the information. But it was made prevalent and public that, hey, there is a spike in COVID cases. Now let's take into consideration, where is our quarantine areas? Let's take into consideration, do we have the facilities at the general hospital? Are we taking into consideration the issues that was faced during the pandemic? Are we in a position now to fortify for the different disadvantages that we had during 2020? And this is the questions we need to ask. We need not to downplay it as if, okay, well, NNP did this. We're not asking for current, we're not asking for curfew and so on, What we're asking for is awareness and proper precautions. This is what? This should not be downplayed. From 16 to week 26, from week 1 to 71 on week 3. And you go on the pages. You go on the Ministry of Health page. And prior to that information that the CMO disseminated on Monday, there is nothing on the page saying, well, okay, we have had, information of, and even if you go on the page now, and I'm talking to you, basically, and I'm on the page. I'm speaking to you, I'm on the page. And there is nothing there on the entire page informing persons as it relates to the awareness or the increase in COVID cases. Now, how can you downplay something like that? You should not. This is not to be playing politics at this stage. From week 1 to week 3, 45 persons being detected with COVID-19 is something that you need to pay attention to. We don't need to downplay this. Information and allegations of persons dying from COVID-19 in recent days. Persons having dropped down, gone back home, brought back to the general hospital. Yes, the information is wrong. So we need not to downplay COVID-19. Because as I said, we are not in the same state as many other countries. We are at a period in Grenada where we know definitely what happens. We know definitely around this time there is a significant increase of persons on our shores wanting to visit for the carnival season. What is the purpose of not giving that level of awareness? I remember during COVID-19, many persons on many different platforms, they try to downplay, oh, there is no COVID in Grenada, and they just want to hold on persons. We can't play politics with these people. This is the health of a nation. This is the health of a nation. And I'm saying to you, if this is a period where this breaks out in one of our hotels, one of our big supermarkets in Grenada, What is going to happen? This is the things that persons ought to consider. That no, these persons are going on 3 and 4 and 5 days sick leave. Places are out with workers for 6 and 7 workers are not on work. You're going to get a drop in a lot of productive sectors. This is what the consideration should be, We're not saying that you need to say to bring a quarantine and tell persons going 6 o'clock. No. You need to take into consideration that in the time when we need our workforce to be more on a demand, we may be at a point where we have to lessen it now. Because at the end of the day, let's take into consideration, IJ is one of the places in the south of the island where most of our foreigners would shop. IGA is out of staff of 9 persons due to COVID-19. What is the production days going to be like? Would they not take into consideration maybe close down for 2-3 days? And so what happens to economic and the economic boost? This is the drive I want persons to understand when you talk. It's not all about politics, but taking into consideration the backlash that might happen when certain things happen. Because from the time you talk about these things, they jump on, oh, you're against NDC. No. I am taking into consideration all on sundry here. Take into consideration he breaks out at the General Hospital. And 4 and 5 and 6 medical practitioners and other persons within the medical fraternity is contracted. And 4 and 5 days, they're unavailable. Due to the fact that they are not at the hospital, they're COVID cases. You can't consider those things. You need to consider those things when things like that happen. This is not just saying, okay, COVID-19 and we're not going to treat it like how NNP treated. No. But the awareness. The awareness is what I'm thinking about. It breaks out at the bus terminus. And so persons at the bus terminus now are coming up with COVID-19. What happens? What happens to the bus terminus? It happens at the mall. What happens to the mall? And these are the things you need to consider in times like this. Yes, it is not as prevalent. It is not a pandemic. But take into consideration our workforce in Grenada at this stage is on a double demand. Because now there are more persons to solve. There are more persons to solve. But in a time like this, it would be of importance to Grenada. So, at the end of the day, and look at somebody's mentioned it, and let me just read the comment. COVID is spiking all over. We are at our own risk, so we know all our precautions. So let us do it and not wait on anyone. Because at the end, no one and business, unless the bigger countries take a turn to wear masks, etc., that's when they will implement it again. You see, and that is where the problem comes in. The other countries are not having, listen, the other countries at that time, this is not the economic boost season. To Grenada, and understand what I'm saying, to Grenada, Carriacou, well, not Carriacou so much, but to Grenada, this is our spike season, and this is the time, and if you go back 20 years, this is the time in Grenada when our economic activities are more at a double rate than any other time. And this is the conversation. No, it doesn't affect America, Trinidad and Tobago, Bahamas, or wherever, because this is not the boost season. But to Grenada, this is our period. This is our period now. This is our time of year when the expectation of more tourists or persons returning home spikes. And so there is no need to wait for other countries to say wear masks. And I'm saying it doesn't necessarily take the conversation of mask wearing. Precaution. Because mask wasn't the only precaution. Now, if it means speaking to private entities and asking them to reintroduce the sanitization, could be of a paramount importance. Now, children are coming home. You understand me? Kids are now on their way home. More activities would be happening. More gathering would be happening. So all the consideration, and though it is spiking all over the world, I am simply saying to Grenada as a country, we are not merely in the same position as other countries. We are at the height of our economic growth in terms of our festive season. This is the time it happens. More spending, more gathering, more out and about, more vehicles being rented, more hotel rooms being booked. And so if those entities, as a country, we're faced with our own contracted with the disease, Royalton have 12% contracted with the disease. What is going to happen to Royalton as one of the hotels that may want the level of productions around this time? Simple concept. Simple reference. It doesn't take a mathematician to understand that concept. All right? So we will not linger much on the conversation. But it is just a matter of me saying to the Ministry of Health, the awareness needs to be heightened on the mere fact that we're not just entertaining Grenadians in the next upcoming weeks and months. We would not just be entertaining our very own locals, right? And so you don't want your human resource to drop at this time, because that is what is going to happen. Persons are going to be contracted with the disease and they have to go home and so on and so forth. Do you understand me? So we just want, and somebody saying that you cannot go to the general hospital without a mask. So if the awareness starts at our medical facility, it means that the precaution is heightened there. So we need to take it out. We need to spread its wings. All right? We need to spread its wings. This is the simple concept about this conversation. This is not playing politics with the conversation of COVID-19. Whether or not government should do X, Y, or Z. We're saying to you, it is important that our people be aware and the precautionary measures be reintroduced significantly at the mere fact that the gathering and other, activities that may cause persons not to be aware as in the time of our pandemic. All right? So we're jumping into the next conversation, right? And I don't know how many of you all that are on the live that are from my lovely parish out there in St. Mark's. I don't know how many of you all are from the beautiful parish of St. Mark's. Now, I would mention St. Mark's significantly because the fact of the matter is, within recent years, we have heard St. Mark's being the forgotten parish, right? We have heard many persons consider my dear little parish the forgotten parish. I don't mention it to be that. But what I have noticed for the year past, and I am subjected to corrections, to the many developments that was mentioned during the election campaign for St. Mark's, I have seen very little happen for this parish. I'm going to be very honest with you. Two of the things that was of a significant conversation was that of the medical station in St. Mark's, which was constructed prior to the last general election, and the Bonnet Bridge, which was a conversation for a lengthy period of time for the candidate for the National Democratic Congress. Now, I remember just before the election, Dr. Modest, through, I think, one of the different entities, would have started measurements or construction was to start on the Bonnet Bridge. Another conversation was that of the implementation of jetties within the St. Mark's area. Now let me say this, and it takes me to the length of the remainder of my conversation. If we are not going to hold politicians responsible within this Tri-Island state, be it NNP or NDC, we would forever be spinning top in mud. The Bonnet Bridge was a serious grievance of the senator now in St. Mark's. I can recall just him being the mere civilian. Many videos, many statuses on Facebook. Now, when the party took office in June, and with so many conversations already that the bridge could be constructed, and so the place or the business place responsible for its construction was already in terms of measuring up and doing whatever, I expected that when school had recommenced in September of last year, that this bridge would have been erected. However, 1 year later, with the closure of another school year, we have not seen a nail removed nor pung. St. Mark's, for the lengthy period of time that many of the supporters on the other side mentioned, was forgotten. Dr. Clarice Modest did nothing in St. Mark's, as was mentioned. But I don't know if Dr. Modest's thing rub off on your guys. But after 1 year, there is no significant improvement in this little parish. Many persons call it the forgotten parish. For 1 year, I want to call it the unremembered parish, because it seems like a little remember. No, we can't continue like this. When you choose an agenda, people, when you choose a path and say to people that you are to transform, make different or change, the expectations of persons will be heightened. Now, St. Mark's, which in the past year, have been working along with a senator. The parliamentary representative sidelined in many ways. Very little conversations and information disseminated to her. And so St. Mark's as a parish was left, has been left, to deal with who? Now, we had the official opening of the medical center. And so Brother Jonathan Lacrette along with the senator and the parliamentary representative, were the ones as delegates that was there. Now tell me if a significant thing like that in St. Mark's, we could not have had the parliamentary representatives from our neighboring parishes. More so, to have the prime minister or maybe the deputy political leader in St. Mark's. Now, the engagement to fishermen or fisher folks in St. Mark's about the jetty has not yet surfaced. Persons within the parish, many has been removed from the seed program. I'm speaking St. Mark's. Many persons within St. Mark's who has been affiliated within the Ministry of Sports, having played or contributed to sports and the development of sports in Grenada, have been sent home from the Ministry of Sports, with Hurricane Football Club being the reigning GFA champions and one of the most dominant football clubs within the state. And yet the few persons that was within the Ministry of Sports was sent home. The person in charge of the field in St. Mark's, again, downplayed because of political affiliation. So if St. Mark's is a forgotten parish during the past administration, I believe they have reached to the stage now of the unremembered parish. Now, it goes back to the Ministry of Health that there is information circulating that somebody related to a particular parliamentary representative would have donated medical supplies to Grenada. And it has been there surpassing 10 days. The ministry has been informed of the donation. It is just a matter of collection. And so persons are reluctant to collect same because the allegation is that the person who made the donation is affiliated with a particular parliamentary representative. Now, why do we continue to involve politics into the wellness? And that's how the Ministry of Health is now, health and wellness. Why do we continue to downplay or play politics with the health and wellness of our state? If we can't, ladies and gentlemen, continue on that vein of holding politicians responsible, then where are we going? Now, just to help you understand more of what I'm speaking about, let me play for you a clip. And listen how nice they sung when they want your vote.
You would know that when you elect me as your next parliamentary representative, I will ensure that 24-hour community health care and emergency services are available to serve you with all the necessary equipment and staffing needed to adequately provide these services. If you are involved on Thursday as well, then you would know that in regards to fishing, when you elect me as your next parliamentary representative, there would be continuous fishing training, financial management, constant safety at sea training, fish handling and navigation training, among others, for our fishermen.
Now, having had a conversation with a very close friend of mine who does who is part of the fishing industry within St. John's. This have not happened in the past year. Fish handling trainings, see whatever, that she makes some so nice. That has not happened within St. John's in the past year. And so the individual reminded me that the last time they would have had something close to that was sometime in March or later in the previous year in St. John's. Now, this conversation, tomorrow being the 29th of June, and Fisher folks are mentioning to you that there is very little or nothing coming from the ministry. How can we not go back to this? Words uttered by the parliamentary representative for St. John's. Words uttered from a ministry, or not a ministry, but from a government who spoke like this during the election campaign. All the nice words uttered for Fisher folks and all other entities, they told you, man, we're going to do this thing, snap of a finger, and it was going to happen. They said to us that all the nice things, don't worry them. When Kid Mitchell say, where did the day? And those was pie in the sky conversation. They don't play it. And 1 year later, persons are still asking the question, who is the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries? With all the excitement that happens during Fisherman's birthday for previous years, you could have felt that sense of excitement and interaction for fisher folks prior to June 29th in previous years. Nowadays, persons are asking, wait, when is 29 June? What is happening for 29 June? So they continue to downplay. And listen, not one clip I have, because I make sure I took me time and I researched them, because there were promises made 1 year later and conversations, and we don't want to hold them responsible. Listen to another one. This one more powerful than the previous one.
An NDC government will ensure that youth in agriculture and fisheries, youth in diplomacy and diplomatic affairs, youth in sport, medicine, and sport leadership, youth in every division of every area and sector of government will be visible at every level of our political structure.
Youth in all the different sectors. Youth to be shown through the length and breadth of Grenada. Youth but where have you seen that significant youth involvement? Where have you seen that significant integration of youth and youth development? We are still yet, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, I am still waiting to know who are the youth ambassadors that have been selected in Grenada. Show to me one youth within the senatorial roles that were disseminated by the NDC government. With the different boards that have been selected, show me one of the youth. In the different ministries and the advisors that have been selected, show me the youth. Within the Spice Mass and other statutory bodies in charge of different boards, show me the youth. Where are the youth? Where are they? Where are the youth? That is the question. With all the different sectors and with so many implementations that have been selected by your government, show me the youth. Brother Lacrette, where are the youth? And if you cannot hold politicians responsible for the words uttered 1 year after, show me a documentation. Show me a documentation that shows the youth ambassadors that have been selected. I want to song like him. Listen to him. Listen to him.
An NDC government will ensure that youth in agriculture and fisheries, youth in diplomacy and diplomatic affairs, youth in sport, medicine, and sport leadership, youth in every division of every area and sector.
Youth. Youth in every sector. Youth in health. The ambassadors have been selected. Who's the youngest person there? Maybe Black Wizard. Where are the youth? Where are they? Where are the youth? Check the different boards that have been selected. NLA, Gravel and Concrete, Grenlec, Spice Mass Corporation. Check the different boards. Tell me where are the youth? Where are they? They rejected the jobs. They don't want it. They tell all you don't give them. Where are the young people? And it is one that you're not getting them involved. It is another when you're not engaging them. When you're not engaging them. That is the other thing. I remember in the time when we were in Emmeline Pay. Let me have some respect. Mrs. Emmeline Pay was in charge of youth in Grenada. There were times she would leave her office 2, 3 in the evening and engage young people. I remember being in secondary school in 2004. Them time I think she was the press secretary or so on within the ministry. And she engaged in different schools. When she became ministers, different youthful activities. That is engaging and involving youth. Then we gave it to Sister Kate Lewis, who did another tremendous job with youth and youth development. That is youth and youth development and youth involvement. And we can't hold you responsible for this. And young people are still out here asking, where is this administration? These are not my words. This is not me saying, I did hear Lacrette say that. I'm playing it for you. Because I want to continue to tell you guys, when you come on my program, me don't bring in propaganda, I bring facts. So when I play it, I don't want to, when I speak about it, I don't want to say, I did hear Kieran James speak about that. And I hear Lacrette speak about that. Minister Lacrette speak about that. No. I'm playing it so you could hear. And this is not my voice. This is their voice during the election campaign. Check the different boards. Check the different boards. Go through them. See what is that, what level of youthful involvement that have happened during the rain for the past year. Check out the advisors to the different ministry. All guards. All guards. There's no youth. Where are they? Our young people are asking to be engaged. You can't give everybody a work. Every young person cannot get a work. And we're not expecting no administration to aid in assisting every youth throughout the length and breadth of Grenada, Carriacou and Petit Martinique. But hence the reason why you have words like curb and suffice. You do things so at the end of the day, they don't feel left out. And so what you see before when we're growing up, we saw persons between middle age and 40 and 50 years by the side of the road selling. Look at it now. Young people with their hands now tied. With their hands now tied. They are the ones now running by the side of the road to sell their little chicken and chips. And fish and chips and barbecue. And you could see there is an intention for betterment. There is an intention for betterment. So young people do want to do it. But everything is just on paper. Everything is to be discussed. Everything. Nothing fiscal. Nothing that is tangible. Nothing that is happening, implemented. Everything they tell you, it's on paper. We have that. And we have that day. And we have that day. There are things, ladies and gentlemen. And let me tell you something. You see how fast that 1 year on? And it happened with the past NDC administration. Oh, they wanted to pay debts. Grenada's debts. And get everything on stream. Let me tell you something. We were at a stage in Grenada where the democracy conversation, the understanding of democracy and giving persons time to develop is very, very, very minimal in our minds. And if you understand Caribbean politics, in the Caribbean, we don't give people 2 and 3 terms to get it right. We don't give people 2 and 3 terms to get it right. And you should have realized that change in 2008 when young people started to be electorates. We are at a stage where it is so youthful that we are impatient. We are impatient. So when a young person is promised, hey, you get a job when election done, they're looking for that 6 and 7 months after. And then by 2 years, they realize it don't happen. They turn ship. And that has changed after the long 13-year reign of the new National Party. We got to a stage where young people are no more involved. Young people are no more involved in our democracy in our state. And they're not as patient as Granny and Tanty and them before. But Gary put panty on me. Nobody do put in panty and nobody know. We are in it on shin. So nobody can say, Keith, Deacon put panty and draws on them. Because everybody is at a stage where they're independently understanding politics and politicians. And so don't feel you will have thing on paper long, 2, 3 years and balling just now. We're gone past that stage of politics. We have gone past that stage of politics. At the end of the day, we're not saying that an administration may not have things to do, but we want to know what you are doing. At the end of the day, we need to see things tumbling. We need to see things happening. And they're not. All right? So, ladies and gentlemen, it was a wonderful conversation today. As per usual, once we're here, we're going to converse. The thing go nice. All right? So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say to you that it was another wonderful day. And I would have posted something on Facebook today, right? I do take, I do little hosting and so on for different events. So if you do need me, let me know. So just before we lock off today, I want to inform you of a few events that are coming up. I want to say Island Revelers, they present Tropical Zest Night Cruise. That will be on Monday, July 3rd. Don't forget on the 4th, which is next week, Tuesday, would be a national holiday. All right. So it is only $70 to get you on the boat ride. So it will be Selectabis and other DJs would be on the boat ride. So don't forget this. Don't forget to attend that event. All right. They say here we have the St. David's Catholic Secondary School. They're celebrating their 53rd year of celebration from the 6th to the 7th of August 2023. They're starting with a church service. Then they have a family fun day. They have a Monday night mass. Then they have a day cruise and a dinner and dance. All right. Steph's promotion. She presents to you guys old clothes. This is the morning edition from 6 a.m. It is the day of the CARICOM holiday. That's the 4th. So don't forget, we're there hosted by yours truly, Royalty James. I would be there live and in living colors. SBG Promotions, Kero Bill and my good brother. They are having a nice day cruise. Pay for it. That is on Sunday, July 9th. $70 about the Rum Runner 2. Don't forget that. Shantimel Organization, they present Shanti Soca Monarch 2023. That is on Friday, the 7th of July. That's at the Shantimel RC School. Gates open at 7. Share Promotion, my sister over there, Maritza, good afternoon to you. It is going to be the warm-up day into night cruise. All right. So it is going to be the night cruise. Sorry, not a day into night. It's a night cruise. It is from 7. We are aboard the Embassy. $65 gets you on the inside. You can contact Marissa on 422-0787 and you can get all the information needed. All right. Sugar Palace Promotion, they present to you Tropical Zest. That's on Monday, the 3rd of July. They are aboard the Embassy. Tickets are already $50. That would get you on the inside. On Sunday, July 9th, the St. Max Social and Cultural Foundation, they present the Carnival Lunch. Again, this would be hosted by yours truly, Royalty James. I would be there. Also, Hard Fet. This is one of the big ones that are coming up. This is a day cruise. It is on August 7th. It is aboard the Rum Runner 2. So don't forget Hard Fet. We are on this one. Sassy and Sexy. The new national party, St. Patrick's West. They give to you Sassy and Sexy Night Cruise. That's on the 28th of July. And my good friend Pinky out there, I'm hoping that you're listening. Pinky and Donna presents Dinem and Diamond. That is on the 22nd of July. That would be happening at Crampy's Bar out there in Subiz. So to the persons, just continue sending the information. I will disseminate the information. We are going to have ourselves a wonderful time. I don't know if I could attend all, but it is something special that will be happening on August 14th. I want to say to the persons that are coming out from the diaspora, August 14th, don't be late. You understand me? It is my birthday party. We are on the Carnage. We had Juve morning. Then we have parade at the band. Then we have Monday night mass just to celebrate my birthday. All right? But that is all fun and laughter. But on August 4th, it is my birthday. So I want to see all of my diaspora students that will be here. Let us bust a line. All right? So it was a pleasure as per usual, being with you guys, disseminating information. It is always a pleasure to have you guys on the live. As I said today, I attempted to be short. I tried. But that was not successful, all right? All right, so I want to say good afternoon to Mattis. You always come on the live and my students will deal with you accordingly. So I need not to sometimes reply to your messages. But again, it was a pleasure. I hope we meet again tomorrow where we will discuss more information. Tomorrow we're going to touch on the RGPF a little bit. Yeah, tomorrow we are going to be on the RGPF's communication satellite. So you got to prepare yourself for that bit of information because we have a lot of information to disseminate with you as they took their time and dismantled the RGPF. Ripe grapefruit and passion fruit is what it is named now. So get used to it. All right. So it was a pleasure to be here with you guys. And again, we will see tomorrow. God's blessings to each and every one of you. Andra, good day. Jill Williams, Jillian, Noel, who is it? Teresa Colimo, good afternoon to you. Mattis, good afternoon. Diamond, good afternoon to you. And all the other persons that was on the live today, whom I forget, I'm sorry. And I promise, it's been really tight. It's been really tight because I want to give out some prefect badge. Because I want, when I'm in the class, there are persons who are going to be able to keep the class, at peace. But off the bat, I can say to you, Keisha Walcott is going to be a prefect. Off the bat, I can say to you, Keisha is going to be a prefect. Good afternoon to you, Keisha Walcott, and God's blessings to you. Andra, I want Andra to be a prefect, but Andra doesn't come to school every day. He had days, I don't know what to take Andra to come into school at all. I have to speak to Shimoda. But so Mattis is giving blessings to Keisha and Glenda. So have yourself a wonderful day coming from Mattis. It was another wonderful day, ladies and gentlemen. I am off today and I am going to have a staff meeting tonight. I want to speak to all the little people in my head because tomorrow I want to ensure that when I'm blazing from afar. All right. So God's blessings and we're going to have a wonderful day. Yeah, Brother Dave. Brave boy, yeah, you can link me up. You understand me? So God's blessings and we're going to see again tomorrow. All right. So this is yours truly, Royalty James. I'm signing out for this afternoon. All right.
Find myself singing for things I don't want to sing, good Lord. But somebody always doing some guys who and something. There was a big get together for Kai Soka cricket team. Drinks was flowing like water, but no cups to drink it in. So somebody made a suggestion that had the boys on a hunt. They say if we could just find our own cups, then we could drink as much as we want. Well, if you see we like hungry little chicken all over the kitchen, we looking for cups. Like old Mother Hubbard, we all in the cupboards, we looking for cups. You should have seen we looking for cups to drink, good Lord, we looking for cups. Looking for cups to drink, good Lord. We looking for cups. Tysonians came in their glory, Tysonians came in their glee, greeted by songs of gladness from singing Sandra and Lady B, who wasn't formally attired, was equipped with the latest sports. The mighty Sparrow and the Fosto came out in a lambada shorts. Gypsy came in a velvet outfit, Funny Borrow exposed a shoe. Duke was in a scissors tail jacket, and all of them looking for cups too. You should have seen me like hungry little chicken all over the kitchen. We looking for cups. Like old Mother Hubbard, we all in the cupboards, we looking for cups. You should have seen me looking for cups to drink, good Lord. We looking for cups. for cups to drink, good Lord, we looking for cups. Well, every year we leave our families and go to the foreign land, promoting our country in the best of way that we can. When we reach back here in our homelands, they greet we with a slap in the face. The way they hassle we in the customs, as if we loot out somebody's place. I never mentioned one word about this, cause I was hoping that it will stop until they invite we to this party, just to have we looking for cops. You should have seen we Crusoe and Composer in a bell-bottom Wrangler, they're looking for cops. I see the Grandmaster Kitchen, a girl a rush me and they're looking for cops. You should have seen we looking for cops. Good Lord, we looking for cups. We looking for cups to drink. Good Lord, we looking for cups.